Steve Koski, host of Papa Steve's Rebel 1100 Garage, where we show do-it-yourselfers how to maintain your motorcycle. Let's get greasy.
Honda recommends you clean, lubricate, and check the tension on your Rebel 1100 chain every 600 miles. The number 600 resonates in English literature. Theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. This is the refrain from the second stanza of Alfred Lord Tennyson's 19th century poem about blind valor and the military stupidity that ordered 600 saber-wielding cavalrymen to charge the battery of cannons that decimated their ranks, the charge of the Light Brigade. Okay, so 19th century poetry is an over-the-top introduction to a video about doing chain maintenance every 600 miles on the Rebel 1100. First, a disclaimer. I'm not suggesting you don't need to do the chain maintenance called for in the Rebel 1100 Owner's Manual. I'm arguing that Honda should never have made you do so in the first place. Let's put chain drives in perspective. Some of the earliest automobile inventors, the one from the 1880s in both Europe and the United States, used chains to transfer power from their engines to the drive wheels. Some of those vehicles used steam engines, some used electric motors, and some used gasoline engines. That makes chain drives 140-year-old technology. Other inventors were clever enough to abandon chain drives for drive shafts in the early 1900s. The first drive shaft horseless carriage was patented in 1901. I'll admit, chains are a bit better now. The best ones use O-rings to keep lubricant inside the links where it's most needed, unheard of in the 19th century. Don't get me wrong, I celebrate Honda's cutting-edge technology in the dual-clutch automatic transmission, DCT, used for some of its motorcycles. But why cling to 140-year-old technology to transfer prodigious power to the wheel from highly refined modern engines? Better technology exists. Harley-Davidson uses belt drives on many models. That bit of forward thinking is from a company that stubbornly clings to 1940s engine technology so it can continue to sell its signature potato-potato exhaust sound. My Rebel 1100 Metric has a parallel twin engine with single overhead cam, a 270-degree crank, and user-adjustable engine mapping. My motorcycle exhaust sounds more like tempura tempura. The occasionally maligned Yamaha Bolt also uses a belt. Belts are not the perfect solution, but they require less maintenance than a chain. Suzuki's Boulevard line features motorcycles with drive shafts. I owned a 450-pound, 800cc version of a Suzuki Boulevard, the S50. What a novel idea a drive shaft is. Maintenance involves draining the lubricant and replacing it every now and then, but not every 600 miles. Even Honda sells some larger motorcycles with drive shafts. That tells you their engineers know how to apply the technology. So apply it already. Making Honda Rebel 1100 owners clean, lubricate, and measure their chain tension every 600 miles is perverse. Okay, I'm done with my rant now. Into the valley of chain maintenance rode Papa Steve. every 600 miles. Here's what you will need. First, you'll need a motorcycle with 140-year-old chain technology. That's my Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. I cherish nearly everything else about it. Second, you need some way to get the rear tire off the ground. What you are looking at is a paddock stand. I bought this one at Harbor Freight for $40. It doesn't fit the Rebel 1100. The 1100's swing arms are too wide. Some YouTubers have modified their paddock stands to work with the Rebel 1100. I'm still looking for the best way to do that. Instead, I use a Harbor Freight motorcycle stand wheel chock, $62.99, and a Costco floor jack that I originally bought to do car maintenance. I put a hockey puck on the floor jack's lift platform to protect the motorcycle. Third, you need the following stuff. A drop cloth to put under your bike to keep the floor or driveway clean. I split open a plastic contractor bag. You can buy commercial motorcycle chain cleaner, but kerosene works great. It evaporates quickly, it's less flammable than gasoline, and it won't hurt your chain's O-rings. A spray bottle full of kerosene quickly dissolves the gunk on your chain. You can buy kerosene at Home Depot. That's where I bought this spray bottle. The spray is just right. The first bottle I bought at Home Depot was a different brand. Apparently that brand wasn't designed for kerosene because I couldn't get sufficient spray. I've heard some people use WD-40. I have no information about whether or not that's a good idea. Motorcycle chain lube. Don't skimp here. Buy the Honda version if you are really anal, but the lubricant showing works fine. Don't even think about using bicycle chain oil. A chain brush to dislodge the crud. A handful of clean shop towels. Okay, you've mustered the horses and sabers. Now let's charge the cannons. Warning: never do this maintenance with the motorcycle running. The powered chain can snip off your fingers before you even know they're caught in the cookie jar. Here's the chain cleaning process. Jack up the rear wheel. Here's a picture of the frame cross member under which I put the hockey puck. The wheel just needs to be far enough off the ground to be free to turn. Turn the rear wheel by hand to expose the chain. As you turn it, soak the chain with the kerosene. You can use too little kerosene, but it's hard to use too much. I go around the chain at least twice. scrape the crud off the chain with the chain brush. The chain brush is designed to be used in two orientations. Watch me clean 3 sides of the entire chain at least twice while holding the brush in one direction. Then I do the same thing again, holding the brush so it cleans the 4th side that I missed the first time. After brushing the chain, wipe it off with a shop rag to clean off the remaining gunk and to help dry the kerosene. Go have a beer while the rest of the kerosene evaporates off the chain. Here's the chain lubrication process. Turning the rear wheel by hand again, spray lubricant along the top of the bottom half of the chain. Just as with the kerosene, you can put too little lubricant on the chain, but it's hard to put on too much. I rotate the chain at least twice to be sure I haven't missed any links. Go drink another beer. The lubricant has paraffin in it to help it cling to the chain. The paraffin needs to dry for 15 minutes to an hour before the bike takes you for a ride. Some people like to wipe off the excess chain lube after waiting the requisite 15 minutes. I haven't found that to be necessary. You're done with cleaning and lubricating. Here's my technique for getting the motorcycle off the motorcycle stand wheel chock. Put a wheel chock about 3 feet behind the Rebel 1100's rear tire because my driveway goes downhill and the motorcycle weighs 500 pounds. Put the kickstand down. Stand on the motorcycle stand wheel chock's cross member. Otherwise, the stand will scoot when you try to push the motorcycle off. Rock the motorcycle backward and forward until you can push it over the hinged chock. After the motorcycle stops against the rear wheel chock, ease it over onto its kickstand. Now you're ready to check the 1100's chain tension.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd be delighted if you would subscribe to Cruisin' with Papa Steve. If you don't, I'll be just another codger talking to himself on the internet.